This is official podcast of The Educators Zaman Town campus. You are listening a new series, QURANIC Wonders, episode 4.
My name is Eshaal. I am from class 8. Ashab-E-Kahf. The people of the cave were the noble people of the city of Ephesus and were the respected courtiers of the king. But these people were true believers and were against idol worshipping. In order to safeguard their faith after facing oppressive conduct of King Decius, they ran away from his kingdom. They took refuge in a cave in a nearby mountain and went to sleep. They remained asleep for a period of more than 300 years. When Decius searched for them and came to know about their presence in the cave, he became extremely furious. He ordered to barricade the cave with a stone wall so that the captives may die there and the cave may become grave from them. However, the person who was assigned to execute that task by Decius was a very pious and a faithful person. He engraved the names of the companions of the cave, their number and their whole incident on a slate, and after placing it in a copper box, he buried it in the foundation of the wall that he erected. Likewise, he preserved a similar slate to his one in the royal treasury too. After a few days, the king Decius died, and kingdoms kept changing until a very kind-hearted and just person named Baijarus became the king. He ruled the country for 68 years gloriously. During his reign, religious deviations broke out, and some people refuted the belief in resurrection after death and the day of judgment. The king became grief-stricken. As such, he confined himself in a home and implored earnestly in the court of Allah Azawajal. With tearful eyes, O Allah Azawajal, reveal such a sign that people start believing in the resurrection after death and in the day of judgment. This invocation of the king was accepted. A shepherd selected that same cave as a shelter for his goats, breaking the wall down. As soon as the wall fell down, the people who broke the wall were struck with extreme horror and they ran away. The companions in the cave woke up from their sleep by the command of Allah Azawajal and exchanged greetings, salam, and engaged in talking to each other. They then also offered their salah when they felt hungry. They said to one of their companions, Yamlika, go to the bazaar and bring some food. Also find out secretly what Decius intends to do with us. So Yamlika went to the market. He was astonished to see that Islam has spread everywhere and people were openly reciting the kalima, article of faith, of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. Seeing all this, Yamlika was amazed and exclaimed out of astonishment, O Allah Azawajal, what is happening here? In this city, it was a crime to even utter the name of Islam. How come this revolution has taken place? Afterwards, he went to a bakery to purchase food and gave a coin of the times of Decius to the salesman. This coin was no longer in use, and there was no one alive who could recognize that coin either. The shopkeeper became suspicious, thinking that perhaps the possessor of that coin has discovered some old treasure. Therefore, the shopkeeper handed him over to the authorities. They interrogated him about the treasure and said, Tell us, where is the treasure? Yamlika said, There is no treasure. This is our money. The authorities said, How can we believe this coin is yours? This coin is 300 years old and centuries have passed since this coin was in use. This coin is no longer used and you are still young. So tell us clearly so that this myth can be solved." Hearing this, Yamlika said, "You tell me, how is the king deceased?" The authorities said, "Today there is no king with this name on the face of the earth. Yes, hundreds of years ago there was an evil-hearted and unjust king with this name who was an idol worshipper." Yamlika stated, "It is a matter of just a day. Before that, we fled due to his fear to safeguard our faith and our lives. My companions are in a nearby cave. You people come with me. I will make you meet them." Therefore, the authorities and seniors of the city raised near the cave in large numbers. The companions in the cave were waiting for Yamlika. Seeing the delay in his return, they presumed that Yamlika might have been arrested. When they heard noise of people coming at the entrance of the cave, they thought that perhaps the army of deceased had arrived to arrest them. Therefore, these people engaged themselves in the remembrance of Allah Azawajal and repentance devotedly. The authorities discovered the copper box when they reached the cave. They took the slate out and read its contents. They discovered that the names of the companions of the cave were written on it. It was also mentioned that they are a group of true believers who had taken refuge in this cave to safeguard their faith due to the fear of deceased. Deceased barricaded this cave with a wall to confine them. The author further wrote on the slate, "I have mentioned these facts with the intention that whenever the cave will be opened, people may become aware of what the people of the cave suffered." The authorities were stunned to read the account written on the slate. These people informed their king Baidurus about the event. Immediately, King Baidurus rushed to the cave along with his courtiers and the distinguished people of the city. The companions of the cave come out the cave, embraced the king and revealed their entire story. King Baidurus fell into prostration and thanked Allah Azawajal that his invocation was accepted. Allah Azawajal has revealed such a sign that has strengthened everybody's belief about the resurrection after death. The companions of the cave prayed that may Allah Azawajal protect the king and his kingdom. They further said, "Now we leave you under the protection of Allah Azawajal." The companions of the cave said greetings, "Assalamu alaikum," and went back inside the cave and went asleep. Allah Azawajal made them die in the same state. King Baidurus made timber coffins and placed the sacred bodies of the companions of the cave inside them. Allah Azawajal infused such a dignity in the hearts of the people about the companions of the cave that no one had the courage of going near the cave's entrance. This is how Allah Azawajal preserved the dead bodies of the companions of the cave. After this, the king Baidurus constructed a mosque at the entrance of the cave, fixed an annual celebration day, and asked people to visit it on that day like an Eid day. Moral: the resurrection after death is a reality, and the event of Ashab-E-Kahf is a sign and evidence for this that has been mentioned in the Holy Quran. A person who migrates from his native country for the sake of safeguarding his faith and belief, Allah Azawajal provides such means for his safety from the unseen that are beyond our perception. There are blessings and beneficial effects in the name of the chosen people of Allah. Wallahu ta'ala alam.